second.
Hang on.
Why should we care about animals?
If we have options, do you not care about dogs?
No.
Why?
Why? Yes.
What do you mean? Why?
Do they care about me? They're not my species. They're not humans.
So you would.
We're all humans. We care about one another. I don't care. I don't punch you in the face, so you don't punch me in the face.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're not talking about me and you. We're talking on a global level.
Yeah.
We all agree to values, shared values, in order for society to function.
Okay.
But
Do you think a tiger will care about you?
animals attack one another.
Well, tigers are a moral agency, and also
Why
tigers are obligate carnivores. They need to be meat. We don't. So
Okay,
it's very different for two
that's fair. So let me give you a scenario. Imagine you find a stray animal.
Yeah.
Let's say a cat.
Yeah.
Yes. You bring the cat home because you're a kind person.
Yep.
You love animals.
Yes, I am.
You love animals.
I do.
You're an animal activist.
Yep.
What do you feed the cat?
This is exactly why I don't have pets.
about me?
No. I gave you a scenario.
No, I know.
So
Yeah,
what
but
if
you put me in a scenario I wouldn't be in, so it's a little bit unfair.
No, but it's not something impossible.
No, but
You said you are a kind person.
No, but
So if you saw an animal that is
the
stray,
difference is
yeah, I'm asking you. You said necessary, so that's
no, but I think saying it's
you said it is immoral to unnecessarily eat animal products. Now I'm asking.
I've tried to answer many points here. So the thing I will say is I would not be in. You can't ask me to.
Why can't you be in that situation?
Hang on. I barely even started my sentence.
Okay, go on.
So what I will say is you cannot put me in a position and ask me what I'll do when I would not be in that position.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I won't take it.
Are you saying you'll never find a stray cat?
I'm saying I'll never take in a stray cat. Yeah.
No, in your past you haven't, but can you say in the future you will never find it?
I can tell you now, if I see a stray cat, I will not take it in.
So what would you do? Let it starve?
No, because I don't think it will stop.
No. If it wait, how do you know that? Maybe it's an injured cat.
Yeah.
And you could actually save its life because the cat is injured.
Yeah.
You could bring it home.
Yeah, so
you could feed it.
I would call the RSPCA, so it doesn't die.
So you wouldn't do it yourself.
But the difference.
Wait, I thought you cared about animals. What happened?
The difference is.
In order for you to abide by your ideology, you're willing to put a cat's life in danger. Yes. So
How am I putting a cat's life in danger?
imagine you're in a place where you cannot reach the RSPCA. Yes.
Then I would take the cat in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly my point. Exactly my point. No, but it's still the same thing. I asked you at the very beginning.
And then I said I
Hold
called
on.
the
What's your
RSPCA,
name?
and now you said
What's your name?
the RSPCA isn't here.
What's your name?
Billy.
Billy, I'm Hashim. Okay, let's calm down. I asked you, there is a situation, and this is not hypothetical. This can be a real situation.
But it's hypothetical though.
Yeah, I know, but it is possible. It's not impossible. So imagine you're at a place where you find a cat. Yes, you cannot reach anyone to help the cat other than yourself. The cat is injured, and you have the ability to not only nurse and feed it. And let's say you're the only person who can do that.
And I take it in, yeah.
Okay. So in that situation, what would you do?
Just the third time, I will take the cat in, yeah.
And what would you feed it?
Meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
And you probably would buy it from the same supermarket.
If you're not aware, the word unnecessary. I keep talking about cats need to eat meat. Cats are what's called obligate carnivores. If they don't eat meat, they will not.
All right.
They will. Hang on. They will physically. So either you let a cat die or you feed it.
Yes.
So the difference is you can't feed a cat something that's not meat.
Exactly my point.
But we're not talking about.
So are you telling me?
But we're not talking about.
No, but
what we're talking about is
hold on, Billy. Are you telling me when you say we? Are you telling me all vegans don't have cats?
Don't have what?
Do all vegans are not allowed to have cats?
Well, interestingly, that is a debate in the vegan community. I wouldn't have pets. No.
So none of the vegans will have pets.
Unless it's a stray, maybe. But I mean, some vegans do.
I'm talking about you only. I'm talking about everyone now.
Some vegans, yeah, but these.
So how do those vegans? How do?
I think some vegans may have pets, and maybe they're inconsistent. But what I say is inconsistent is when we go. I can look at a dog and go, it's wrong to hurt a dog. I look at a cat and say it's wrong to needlessly harm a cat. But then again, it's okay to.
Are you talking to me or the camera? Don't worry, the microphones are here, so
No.
they won't pick up your audio.
Okay.
The audio is from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is that if there are vegans out there who have the same ideology as you, like
They don't know. If they have pets,
I never finished my sentence and you
Yeah, okay,
interrupted.
fair enough.
Okay. So because you said that there are certain vegans for whom it is okay to have a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they consider that as immoral?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So they're vegans, but they consider it as immoral, but they still go on feeding the cat meat.
Yeah.
And they probably get the same meat, maybe probably from the same supermarket as any non-vegetarian.
Yeah, but again, the difference is that you're saying that they are of the same ideology as me. They're not.
I'm asking. I mean, if it's the ideology, how do you consider that as immoral?
So I can work my way around this criticism, but the thing is I don't need to. We don't need to talk about the specifics.
Guys, please.
Of whether or not we're going to stray cat. We don't need to talk about the specifics or what we would feed them. What we do need to talk about is what we feed ourselves. I mean, we can have this discussion, and it is important, and these criticisms are valid. But the main area of concern, the true area of concern, the thing that truly matters, is what we feed ourselves. The reason why your criticism is so strong is because cats need to eat meat, and you know this.
Exactly. Yeah.
The difference is, and this is my main area of contention, is we know that we don't, which is why.
No, hold on. You can't say we don't. In fact, what is majority of the people? Are they vegans or non?
No, they're not vegan.
Exactly. So if you took very early man, yes, do you think if he was just a vegan, he would have survived?
The gladiators were primarily plant-based, so I'd say yes.
Well, I think there's a debate there as well. There is a debate there.
The gladiators were primarily plant-based.
The gladiators were actually slaves.
Yeah.
So they would be given food, and they would have to eat that.
Yeah, but
okay, but hold on.
You asked would they survive.
I'm asking you, when you are in let's say you were in a place where you had a lot of snow, yes, and you hardly found any vegetation there, then you will have no choice but to eat. I know it's unnecessary, but what I'm saying is that if you look at the time before man started agriculture,
when we needed to eat meat.
Exactly. You wouldn't have survived without the meat eaters.
No, of course, but we can now.
No, you can't.
So you're saying that you can't survive without meat?
I'm saying there are many places. There are many places in the world today.
Am I trying?
Hold on, no, you're not trans. I'm saying there are many places in the world today where again they have no option but to eat meat.
Yeah.
Like in.
Which is why.
So when you say today, you're implying that all the world. No, it's not.
No.
Yeah. By the way, where do you get your B12 from?
B12 you can have in cereal and fake meat.
How much do you need of that?
I don't know the specific amounts, but you can.
Go and read it.
Listen.
The reason the vegans need tablets to supplement that is because they can't get it. Well, you probably don't, but most vegans, they do need. Again, you're talking to the camera. The audio is here.
Okay.
They can't pick up.
So what I will say is.
What I'm saying is that they need.
You can get B12 now.
They need supplements. They need supplements.
So previously.
Do you not take any supplements at all?
No,
really? You're a different kind of vegan then. Not very careful one.
I grew quite tall. I'm 6'4". You know, I make 86 kilograms. I'm fairly.
That doesn't mean you don't have a deficiency.
No. But my point is that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to grow as much if I weren't vegan. No. Sorry. Like if vegans were deficient in things, I don't think I would.
So hold on. If I use the same argument as you, that somebody who eats meat and is taller than you, what would you say then? Don't use that argument, please. That's rubbish.
I think you're misinterpreting my. I'm not saying that.
I'm tall and I'm strong, so if I'm a vegan, that's okay. Come on.
What I'm saying isn't okay. You know, I'm vegan because the reason I'm so tall is because I'm vegan. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can look at the top level of athletes, right? Nate Diaz defeated two-time world champion Conor McGregor in UFC. The only male Olympian to compete in the US Olympics in 2013.
What about the rest of the champions?
Hang on.
Khabib is not a vegan. Trust me.
Let me finish.
Yeah, go on.
Because the criticism you'll find is invalid as soon as you listen.
Actually, your principle is invalid because of what you brought. I said I can show you equal number of non-vegans.
Can we not interrupt?
Yeah, but the principle is not really worth it. Yeah, go on.
Thank you. So the gentleman here is suggesting that you would need to be deficient. You won't get everything correct from a vegan diet, and that's factually incorrect. Like I said, Nate Diaz being two-time world champion in the UFC with 11 days' notice, primarily plant-based. The gladiators, primarily plant-based. The world record holder in the keg lift.
What is the point? What's your argument?
Let me finish, and you'll know.
No, I need to know the argument before you finish.
And
what's your argument?
You'll know the argument if you listen. If you keep listening, you'll maybe hear more argument.
No, but you're saying after I finish the argument, then I'll give you why.
I'm still not finished.
Yeah, go on.
So
what is the argument?
So I would say is that you can look at the top level of society in terms of strength and people that need nutrition, and we can see that a lot of these athletes, obviously most of them are meat eaters, but most people are meat eaters. I'm not saying that eating meat won't get you the strength that you need, but the idea that you can't get your nutrients, you can't get your protein
B12,
from a plant-based diet.
B12, you can't.
You can, of course you can.
From where?
From fake meats. Google
fake. What is fake? What?
Fake meat.
Fake meat.
Yeah, but not real.
Which fake meat? What's it called?
Vivera.
Divera.
Vivera, and you can also get it from Kellogg's cereal.
But how much of that you have to eat to supplement the level that you need? You haven't looked into this, have you?
I have. I eat one wrap of Vivera, which is a fake shawarma meat. It has B12 in it, and I get the same amount as I would have if I...
How do you know? Did your doctor say that?
No, you can just look at the back and it says...
No, did your doctor say that?
No.
So have you gone to any professionals who actually are able to tell you what you're deficient in? Yes? From, for example, B12. Most of the vegans that I spoke to, they take B12 supplements.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's because they don't eat the substitute meats that I do.
No, why is it? Why can't they eat that? Why?
They can, but they don't. So you're asking me why they specifically...
You know what? Hang on. You know what was their response?
Hang on. So it's specific. There are a lot of meat eaters that are deficient in iron. Do I think, oh well, you've got to go vegan because blah blah, you don't get enough iron from meat? You get plenty of iron from meat. The people that are deficient in these things like iron because they don't eat enough. They don't eat enough of the right food. So the idea that some vegans don't get enough B12, so therefore the vegan diet throw out the window. I get enough B12, and whether the gentleman wants to believe it or not is kind of irrelevant. I'm telling you factually, whether I do or not, you can get enough B12 without supplementing any vegan diet. But even if you couldn't, let's say you couldn't, let's say the gentleman's proposition is completely true. Let's say you can't get enough B12. A pack of 100 B12 supplements, taking one a day.
By the way, Bill, look, most of the examples you gave is anecdotal. So it's either yourself. Have you quoted any professionals?
Well, no, so
it's anecdotal.
No, it's not anecdotal.
Okay, let me. You have spoken a lot. Let me speak now. Okay, you heard of this website called WebMD? WebMD.com. So these are professionals. They are doctors. Yes, and they know what they're saying. So when they say researchers have long known that a strict vegetarian diet, not even a vegan, a strict vegetarian diet, one that excludes all animal products, can lead to vitamin B12 deficiency.
When?
Can I finish it, please?
Sorry. I mean, yes? the irony is
and
you
possible,
were interrupting me quite a lot, so I don't want to give you a taste of medicine.
And in fact, I had to stop you earlier. And possibly heart diseases. Okay? Now, this is from the WMD.com. So they know what they're talking about. So people who actually eat or do not eat any meat products, this is what you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's the reason those people who are honest vegans, honest vegetarians, whom I spoke to, yes, they all take supplements for that. Because it not only causes B12 deficiency, as it says, is also heart diseases. Okay, and this is not anecdotal. This is actually professionals who actually read that.
Yeah, for a third
Sorry,
time.
who have researched it. Second?
For a fourth time, can I ask when it was published?
When it was published?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
The reason it matters is because 5-6 years ago, before I considered going vegan, vegans would have to be deficient because you could not get B12 from anywhere else. Now, as of today, in the United Kingdom, you can get B12.
But you said fake meat. What fake meat?
Vivera, I've told you.
Vivera.
You get it from Asda and Sainsbury's as well.
Yeah, but you have to, like I said, you have to quote to me something from something that's credible. Some credible source.
But you're asking me.
It's all anecdotal so far.
You're asking me which foods I can eat. Well,
But is there? Look, if I said you have to X, Y, and Z, I'm not a professional. It's not my field.
What
yes,
I'm telling you,
to be a
what I'm telling you is you can go to Sainsbury's, you can go to
No,
Asda.
Sainsbury's is not professional either. Get me a source which are from doctors, those who are dietitians, those whose field is for you to understand. They understand the food intake and they know the deficiencies.
First of all, you can look on the back of these products and you can see how much B12 is.
That's not how it works. I think you completely misunderstood how it works.
Firstly, that is completely how it works.
Yeah.
And secondly, I've already said, even if you were deficient in B12, it's very cheap to supplement B12.
Yeah. By the way, do you not use any animal products? Like what? Like if some vegans who wear leather shoes, is that okay?
I think it depends. If you bought the shoes before you were vegan, I think that kind of makes sense.
What if it's a roadkill?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Can you eat roadkill?
Yeah.
You can eat roadkill as a vegan?
Yeah.
Wow, you're not a vegan then.
Why?
Because you eat roadkill.
Well, I think...
I can't believe you just said that.
Well, I don't think that's inconsistent. I think...
If you think eating meat is immoral, also your eating is only based on if the animal is killed morally, then it's okay.
No, it's not. It's not. I think that's a
so what is your argument then?
Famous straw man. But,
what's your argument?
My argument is that if you don't need to kill an animal, if we don't need to kill an animal, the action of us needlessly killing an animal is wrong. If
the animal is killed accidentally, you're okay with that?
If we haven't killed the animal deliberately, then why would
So if somebody else kills it like the roadkill, then it's okay. How do you know the guy didn't kill it deliberately?
No, but I wouldn't eat roadkill. But
you just said you did. Are you making a U-turn now?
Let me finish.
Come on.
Let me finish. So I would say that.
Bill, let's be fair. Did you say you'll kill Roadkill?
Let me finish.
Did you say that?
Let me finish.
You did.
Let me finish. I would say, I think I don't remember exactly what I said. I said,
You said you're okay to eat
would
Roadkill.
it be okay? You asked me whether it would be okay. You didn't say whether I would eat it.
No, you said you would eat
okay,
it.
well, regardless,
it's on camera.
regardless of whether
Camera
I did,
doesn't lie.
Regardless of whether I did. But my point is
that you lied.
If it were accidentally killed, I don't see a physical.
But how would you know somebody in a roadkill would accidental?
Maybe, and that's why I changed my mind. You know?
Ah, so say like that. Don't say you didn't say it.
I'd say I changed my mind.
Okay. Anyway, look.
If you didn't know.
If that is the case, then I think is a case. There are many people who say that stunning an animal, the animal doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you make of that?
I would still. There are various ways to talk about it. I'd say one of my, like I said before, I have just said this, but
because your problem is, I think, with the pain, right? The pain element.
No. I mean that is.
So what is the other element then? If it's not pain.
If you let me finish, I was going to
answer
the questions that you've just asked me. Is that that is a part of it. A part is the suffering, the needless suffering. But ending an animal's life that doesn't want to be ended is wrong.
No, but when it, for example,
intentionally ending an animal's life, if you don't need to, that's what's wrong.
Okay.
Regardless of how we do it, painlessly, instantly, I don't.
What is your view with regards to?
I want to talk briefly. Sorry, I want to briefly talk about the previous thing you just mentioned. So, in terms of heart disease, we've known since the 70s that red meat is carcinogenic and causes heart disease. So, whether or not a vegan diet does.
Oh, even a small amount?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think
sadly.
so.
So you know, it may be the case that veganism has downsides. I'd say red meat has downsides, but what I'd say.
No, but look, I'm not telling you to go mad on red meat.
I know you're not.
Everything in moderation is okay as long as it's not harmful to your body.
What I'm saying is that if both sides have evident and scientific downsides, if red meat is proven to be carcinogenic.
Do you drink alcohol?
No.
You don't drink alcohol at all?
It's higher. It's higher in calories. You know.
What about abortion? Are you for it or against it?
No, I'm against it.
You're against abortion. Yeah. What if let's say somebody gets raped and they get pregnant? What then?
But I don't see how this is relevant.
It's very relevant.
Why?
Because you said somebody's life shouldn't be ended. And that includes humans, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. In the case of a rape, should you end the life of the child or should not?
No.
You shouldn't. So the mother...
I would say it's acceptable only if it threatens a mother's life.
No. The mother has to live with that all her life.
If she put it for adoption, yeah.
Why should you put your own child for adoption? Are you...
She's the mother of the child.
Yeah.
You give that child away to someone else.
You don't think it's better than killing your own child?
Say it again, sorry.
You don't think it's better than killing your own child?
It's better than killing your own child.
Better than killing your own child.
Yeah, so do you not think giving it for
But do you not...
If you didn't want to keep it, I'm not saying she has to give it for adoption.
I read your saying.
Yes. But briefly, because I've got a lot of things to talk about. Briefly, if you did...
Okay, so an easy question.
Assuming she didn't want to keep it, I think...
Hamza.
Better than ending its life, you know?
Can I just ask you an easy question?
Go for it.
Who would know what's best for animals, you or God?
Pardon?
Put it on your belt.
Who would know?
Who would know?
Who would be? Yeah.
Just me or God?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in God, so I'd say me.
But if God exists, who would know?
If God existed...
What's all this? If God existed.
If God existed.
Oh, you don't know who that is?
God would know.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Depending on which God, but assuming you're part of an Abrahamic religion, then yeah, I would say then God.
God is the standard of morality then, yeah?
Yeah, sure. If he exists.
If he exists. So you accept then, if God exists, he would know what's best for animals. Yeah. So you accept if God exists, eating animals isn't a problem. If God said it's not a problem.
You don't believe in God or you do?
No.
He doesn't.
Agnostic or atheist?
Atheist.
There's no such thing as atheists. You're not an atheist, you're agnostic.
No, I said, but it depends what you mean by atheist. I think if you define an atheist as someone that believes that there is no God, I'm not an atheist. If you define an atheist as someone that doesn't believe
you're agnostic,
the arguments for a God,
you're agnostic.
No, but no, I'm not agnostic.
Let's say he doesn't believe in God.
Don't tell me what I am. I just don't believe in the arguments for a God.
I'll tell you what you are, and I'll demonstrate you are. Fair enough?
Sure.
Okay. So, do you believe God exists?
No.
Right. Do you say God doesn't exist, or could God exist?
Theoretically God could have.
So you don't know if God exists or not?
Sure.
So you're agnostic? Okay.
Agnostic.
All right. So that's agnostic.
That was quick.
So
Right.
does it matter?
Right. No. All I'm demonstrating at this
We need
particular...
to get the right label for you.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yes.
Yes,
Why?
because we know...
Because you don't even know your own position in that sense. So you're
No, I think I do know my position. I'm saying that theoretically, because I don't know the whole universe, I can't objectively say that God doesn't.
So you're
exist.
agnostic?
However, all the arguments for a God, I don't believe.
What's the best argument? What's the best argument? What's the best argument you've heard for God?
I'd say maybe contingency. I don't know, or maybe some necessary being kind of argument.
So what's the best argument?
One
second. What's the best argument you've heard for God, and on what basis did you reject it?
So, what would you give me your best argument?
No, you said you heard loads, and you've not heard. So I just want to know what you've heard.
Contingency is good. Carry on with that.
Yeah, contingency. Let's go with the contingency argument, necessary being.
Well, I think you can get infinite regress. I think
That's
yeah, but that doesn't affect contingency
no,
and
you can't have
necessary.
infinite regress and a first prime mover. You can't start.
You
a process
can't.
and say, no, you can't. You can't start something and say it goes back forever. That is logic.
No. You can
go back forever.
you can have an infinite number of things, an infinite number of things, but still it would require the necessary thing. It would just become the set of the dependent things. You still need something independent, even if there's a set of.
No, he means that there has to be a start somewhere.
But even in infinity, an infinity of dependent things still requires something of dependence.
Yeah, I mean,
but as soon as you say infinitely
Trust me.
you need to start with something independent.
Yeah, there has to be. Even no matter how many's in that set of dependent things, even if it's an infinite number, there still needs to be something independent for that set.
That's the end.
No. Whatever it is,
I think that's an assumption. But the thing is.
Why is it an assumption?
No, so the one thing I quickly do want to say is I would be happy to have a debate on religion. My
We're not debating religion.
I think we're debating God, which I think, if I'm right, is going to go into religious philosophy and theology.
I didn't mention God.
What I would like to say is, whether pedantic or not, is I don't really particularly want to debate God. I don't think it matters. I'll
tell you why it matters.
Right, okay, go for it.
Because you just conceded, if God does exist, and he says eating animals is all right, then eating animals is not immoral.
Yeah.
So you're stood here with a sign saying eating animals is immoral. Therefore, it does matter whether God exists or not.
Yeah, but I don't believe in a God.
I know you don't, but so it matters if God exists or not, because in your worldview...
But like, with all due respect, and it sounds like I'm trying to cut myself out and go home.
No, that's
but,
fine. If you need to go, you need to go.
We'll have a conversation again.
I've been here for 9 hours, and the last thing I want to do is have another debate about religion. But,
all I want to hear is the best argument for God you've heard.
I wouldn't.
Listen. I want to hear the best argument you've heard.
Yeah, I don't think any of them.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. I want to hear the argument for God you've heard and why you rejected it.
What I'd say, like the ontological argument is a pretty bad one.
Can you just tell me the argument? What is the argument then? What is the premise and what is the conclusion and why you reject it?
Well, okay, so the idea that various ones, one includes like we need a creator. We look at other things like a building, and we know that had a creator. We look at the universe that has a creator. I think that's wrong because
cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
It's linked to it, kind of, yeah. But so in the same way, some people say, okay, we look at a building and say we know that had a creator,
right?
The universe in its intricacy, and we say let's have a creator. And I don't believe in that because we can compare houses to other houses.
That's like the Kalam cosmology.
We have seen other houses being built. We haven't seen universes being built, so we can't say that it applies to the universe.
Do you have to see something for it to exist?
No, I would say that the reason why people can say we can look at a building and look at a house and say that it has a creator, even if we haven't seen it being built, the reason we can say is because we have seen other houses being built.
That's not why we say it.
No, but
why do you say it then?
Well, houses can't build themselves.
Okay.
Do you think the universe came by itself?
One second. We don't say houses have been built by human beings because we've seen people build houses. We're saying, well, how could it possibly build itself?
Yeah, because we know that the houses are built.
No, because we know the properties of what the house is made of has no what's the word? It's not sentient. It has no power to do so. A brick can't lift itself up, and then we know somebody caused that to occur. Yeah. So we know something exists. Yeah. So we know, for example, let's say, imagine we found a building of a pyramid on Mars. We didn't see anyone build that pyramid on Mars. But what we can say...
Let me
go.
Basically, the Kalam cosmological argument
Haley's watch as well.
It's like that anything that begins to exist must have a cause.
Yes.
And I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
So name one thing.
So you think the universe...
The universe.
I think the universe didn't begin to exist.
To assume that everything within a universe...
All right.
the laws that apply.
Let's rephrase the question.
To say that the things that are within the universe must
Did the
apply.
universe-
One second. Let's rephrase the question.
Hang on, I'm not finished. To say that the laws that apply to individual things within the universe must apply
Okay,
to the universe
let me
itself is fallacious. And I would say.
Let me rephrase my question.
Go back to your point that you said.
No.
You said about a pyramid of Mars. You would assume it's a crater. That's because you can look around at other planets and look at the lack of creation. However, with the universe.
Let me rephrase my question.
Okay, go for it.
Name one thing you know that began to exist without a cause.
I can't. Well, the universe.
Prove it.
No, I can't know.
So you can't know.
No, but the burden of proof isn't upon me.
It kind of is.
No, it's not.
I'll tell you why it is. I'll tell you why it
You're
is.
making the claim is on
Because you're making the claim.
No, I don't make it.
You're making the claim. No. You're making the claim.
He answered the question, you gave the answer.
What was my question?
That was your claim.
You asked whether or not I believe in a God. I said no.
No.
Hang on,
No.
let me finish.
No.
It took more than 3 seconds. Jesus Christ. So you said.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he believes in God.
You said
He's nearly there.
You said to me.
Just a prophet, though.
Whether or not I believe in the existence of a God. I said no. Do you say that there is no possible chance that a God could exist? I said I don't know. I don't think it's.
What was this
No. That wasn't my question.
Do you remember the question?
That was one of the first.
My
questions.
question.
That was one of the questions.
My question was, can you name? I said, can you name anything?
But the burden of proof is on me here.
Well, Listen to the
I'm
question.
not making the claim.
Listen to the
He asked the
question.
question, you gave the
Can you
answer.
name anything that you know of
No.
that began to exist that didn't have a cause?
No.
No. Does everything in your experience
Yeah.
that begins to exist have a cause?
Yeah.
So why then do you ignore your human experience, and automatically assume that the universe doesn't have a cause when you know from your experience anything that begins to exist is necessarily has a cause?
Now ask him if the universe has a cause because he actually agreed with you.
Does
the universe have a
let me
cause
ask you this in response. Do you not think it's possible for the universe to exist somewhat infinitely and the Big Bang to exist and everything to be created?
No.
Do you not think that's theoretically possible?
In fact,
we can see the results.
The probability-
We know the Big Bang is
most
real.
of the scientists
The probability
agree
is
with
absurd.
Big Bang
Yeah.
and not this cyclic universe, which would
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
your proposition. The reason for that is because most scientists actually disagree with anything before this singularity.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because there's no evidence for it.
All right, I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Carbon forms in stars.
Yeah.
Is that random or is there a design behind
I'd
it?
say it's random.
Random. So have you heard of Hoyle, the astrophysicist?
No.
Is it Robert Hoyle? I think it is, isn't it? Scottish astrophysicist. So he made the claim, or his study was that it is random, like you said. When he studied what would need to occur for this to be random, the odds were so preposterous, he actually retracted it and said, you know what? There's intelligent design behind this. Right. So let me ask you, so an astrophysicist, after studying the probabilities and the necessary conditions for carbon to form in stars, concludes that this is not random, what do you use as evidence to support the idea that carbon forming in stars is indeed random?
Yeah. So I'd say two things. It's that
Have you changed the goalpost
the
here?
reason I say it's random is
We were talking about something that is like the universe, which began to, and like you did agree that it began to exist, right?
Oh yeah, he did actually.
No, it
Well, if I ask you, name one thing that you know began to exist without a cause, and you said the universe, that means the universe began to exist without a cause.
Okay,
It
let
began
us
to
ask you
exist.
directly.
No, I'd say
Do you think the universe always existed, or
Yes.
it began to exist? Okay, what is the evidence?
Yeah,
for
why
it?
do you believe that? No, not even evidence. Why do you believe that?
It's because I don't believe in the idea of.
No, forget that. Why do you believe it's always existed?
It's because I don't believe in causal being. So
Why not?
So because I don't believe in this.
What science supports you in the idea that the universe is always existed?
Yeah. But no. So I'd say that, depending on your interpretation, the photons that existed before the Big Bang, the small amount of photons that existed before the Big Bang.
What happened before the Big Bang?
The idea that everything came from nothing.
What happened before the Big Bang?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Exactly.
Well, why are you talking like you know?
Why speculating?
No, but what I'm saying is, you keep pushing the burden on me. It's not on me.
It is.
Oh, no, it's
You're
not.
the one making the
It's
claim.
not.
It is. It is.
Did you not make claim for eternal
It is on you.
universe?
No,
So the onus is on you.
The irony is, the reason I believe in an eternal universe is because I don't believe in the ideas of a God. And you've asked
But
me
that's
questions
not
to
evidence.
justify it, but the burden of proof is
It is
on
like me
Oh,
saying.
wait a second. Why don't you believe in the idea of a God?
But and this is one of the things I was trying to say.
Because he's always a man.
Maybe it's right out of practice.
What?
God's always.
We don't believe God
Why
to
is
be
he
a
a man?
What are you on about?
Why is God always a man?
Christianity.
What are you on about?
Bro, take a number. Join the queue, you're next.
Take a ticket, no
Religion
problem.
is the false comfort of the unreal.
Yeah, so I mean,
Say it again, sorry?
He tells you it's okay.
Are you a hit and runner, aren't you? You're a hit and runner, aren't you? You're going to make a little churchy comment and then run.
because I would like to.
Rather than stand and hold your position,
you're
going to run.
My family, I did philosophy. I do a university.
What religion?
I did A level.
All right, we can see you doing your laces.
Why did you leave it?
So the thing is, this is very. So I would love to sit here, and I believe I can sit here and defend my argument. But it's not why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about God and religion.
But you are.
No, but I'm
But you are. But you are.
But I'm not.
But you are.
But I'm not.
You are, because you're telling us that
It's immoral.
you're saying it's immoral,
Yeah.
and you've conceded if God exists, it's not immoral.
Yeah.
So your argument should be: is God exist or not?
How do you know that's immoral?
Because you're.
My argument shouldn't be.
Well, it should be. It should be.
So when I say immoral, I don't believe that. If I don't believe in God, I can't say that morality objectively exists.
I know. We know that.
Right. So the reason I say immoral is because we all know, regardless of religion, regardless of atheist, agnostic, you have an inner sense of
That's objective morality.
of things feeling right and wrong.
That's objective
right?
morality.
No, I know. So when I say immoral, you all know what I'm trying to say. So by saying, oh well, morality is not objective. You know, in order to be objective, there would be a God. That's all true. However, before you interrupt, I would say when I say immoral, it's a colloquial thing. People know what I.
People disagree on
Colloquial immoral, what's that?
It's people know what I mean when I call something immoral.
Bro, this is worse than cop-out.
When you call something immoral, what do you mean?
I think that
Something against humanity.
because
believe that's right, I think.
because morality doesn't exist objectively.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because morality,
Sorry, I made a mistake.
I know you did.
It's like something.
Don't worry about it. Relax. Tell me what immoral means.
because
No, what does colloquial immoral mean?
Yeah.
I'm more
Colloquial
intrigued by that.
immorality. What does that mean?
because for a subjectivist, morality can't exist, right?
Yes.
You're not one of them, are you?
Objectively speaking.
You're not a subjectivist.
Are you a solipsist? Are you a solipsist?
You're a subjectivist.
Yeah.
Why telling people? Then you can't say.
So why did you even use that word?
Let me answer the question you've just asked.
Why does he use that word if he's a subjectivist?
But he's a solipsist. He doesn't know anything beyond his own existence.
I think I had
let
enough
me
of
answer
All
this
right.
question. This
Let's
question.
go eat some burgers.
Let me answer this question, this criticism, and this question.
Let's go eat.
Without interruption. So what I would say is, a solipsist and a subjectivist cannot argue from objective morality. So what immoral and moral is what's called a buhara thing, right? Which is merely just saying what you like and what you don't like.
So it's like a good feel-good factor.
Hang on, right?
As long as the feel-good factor is moral.
Hang on.
Seriously?
So, because there is no objective basis, all morality is for a subjectivist is, at the end of the day, emotions, right?
We know that.
And all I think morals are for an supposedly.
So you're not rational, you're irrational.
Let me finish. All I think that morals are for a theist is also emotion, because I think that the idea, the premise of a god, that where you get your objective morals from a god, an all-knowing, all-loving moral deity, that's based on the subjective premise that deity exists. And I don't agree. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I don't agree with the arguments for. So.
Well, you haven't given an argument for that
finished.
you've refuted.
I'm still not finished. I did. I gave
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You speculated a few things.
I said.
That's not an argument.
You didn't tell us why they're wrong.
Let me finish. I said I don't agree with the idea of contingency because I think you can have infinite regress. Secondly, I
You
don't
can
agree.
or cannot?
Secondly, I don't agree with the Paley's watch argument, where it looks very complex, therefore must have a design.
All right, how about this argument?
But hang on.
Let me give you an argument that you can't respond to.
Hang on. So you asked me questions, I responded to them, and then you criticised me for not responding to them. I reiterated them. But on the specific question that you've just asked me recently, why I say the word immoral when I don't believe morality even exists, it seems silly, and I'm sure you all, being most of you, I assume, religious, will shake your heads, and I understand. But from my perspective, at least,
Please get to the point.
consider from my perspective. When I try to tell you something that I feel, portray a message, say that something is, or it feels bad, or we shouldn't do this. There's no way to say that without using the word immoral. And I don't believe morality and immorality exist. It's just the reason I say colloquially is because people know what I mean. Whether you're religious, whether you're atheist, whether you're agnostic.
Are you saying you can't find another substitute word
Whether you,
for moral and immoral?
I probably could, but it's
Why-
easier.
what would it
It's
be?
easier, isn't it?
Wrong, right and wrong. It's wrong to eat animals.
I think wrong is the word wrong is.
Why didn't you say wrong? People understand what's wrong.
No, because I think wrong and immoral are equivocal, really.
So why do you say wrong then? It's easy to write.
Exactly. In fact, it's got
I think
less letters as well.
immoral is more provocative. It makes people come.
See, this
Provocative,
acts like you have a moral standard, which you don't have.
No, it's true. Yeah.
So you're saying something's immoral to your standard, which you don't have.
Yeah. You're being deceptive.
So yeah, I agree.
All right, done.
The reason I'm being deceptive is because I want, you know, the
Yeah.
idea of
Because you want more people to provoke as well.
No, so I'm not looking to annoy people. I hope you're not saying that. I feel like
No, not to annoy.
No.
When you deceive someone deliberately, yes, then that is wrong.
I wouldn't say I'm trying to.
It's immoral. It's immoral even.
I'm not trying to say.
Because he understands wrong and right.
I'm not trying. I wouldn't say.
Well, he can't even understand wrong or right because he has no standard.
I wouldn't say it's.
By the way,
is
deception wrong
I would
for
say
you?
it's deception.
No, it's deception.
No, but he has no
wrong.
standard.
I wouldn't say it's deception.
Do you have a standard of right and wrong?
But is deception right or wrong for
I
you?
wouldn't say it's deception.
No, but if it was deception,
I'd say it's wrong.
Is it wrong?
I'd say it's wrong.
Okay.
The reason I wouldn't.
What
the
about
reason,
lying? Is
hang
lying
on,
wrong?
hang on. The reason I would say it's not deception is because
But he has no standard.
Most people have an idea of what morality is, religious or not, right?
I think most people will understand right and wrong is wrong.
So whether if you being religious will
Exactly.
look at non-religious people and go, well, that's not
Why are
really
you
morality.
promoting only the
Wait.
religious
It's very important that you hear me out all at once, otherwise you'll get confused. So you will look at people that aren't religious and go, well, they don't have a basic morality, and that's true. But when I say immoral, people know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I'm criticizing you of. You know what I'm criticizing Jewish people of. You know what I'm criticizing.
No.
Atheists
Here's
of.
what I know.
You know why.
Here's what I know as a solipsist is that you are.
Yeah.
You have no standard of right and wrong.
No.
So you're in no position to say anything is right or
What do you mean
wrong.
by a standard?
A standard that you can measure things against.
Hold on, did you just say no to right and wrong even?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think.
Well, you did.
Yeah. Well,
Then why are you worried about killing animals then?
Look, as a solipsist,
Not
yeah,
right or
he
wrong.
doesn't even know beyond his own existence anything else.
No, I think, look, if you don't have even the standard of right and wrong,
You
Then
can't
what's
tell
the point
people.
of that?
So when we say so the words
What is the
right,
point
the
of
words
that?
right and wrong for me as a subjectivist, as a solipsist, don't mean anything.
We know that.
Right. So when you say you,
So why are you
when
using them?
When you criticise me of not having a
Let-
basis,
let me-
let me finish. Not criticising me for not having a basis of it. My basis of it is fundamentally, and it sounds quite weak because it is, it's my emotion.
We know that. We know that.
And equally, I look at you and I think if you could introspectively be honest with me, and instead of roll your eyes and laugh, which is quite condescending, but be honest with me, if you weren't religious...
No, I disagreed with you.
actually you're using your intellect.
I disagree
You're
with
using
you.
rationality, it's not just emotions.
Let me finish,
Okay?
right?
Let me ask you this. Do you consider killing someone is wrong?
Yes.
Why?
Okay?
I don't know, and that's the problem.
Hold on, he
But I
just,
can't know.
he just said it's
But-
wrong.
He said it's wrong. No.
He has no compass of right
He
and
said
wrong.
it's wrong.
So
He said it's wrong, and when asked why he says it's wrong, he said don't know.
So as I was saying,
I think let's end this.
We're done. We're done.
Billy,
We're done. Billy.
I think you're hungry. You need some
I
B12.
feel that.
You've been here 9 hours.
I feel that's slightly unfair.
No, I think it's
Do you not think so? So from my perspective,
It's not going to get easy for you.
Can you not see from my perspective, as someone that doesn't believe in God, and
Hamza
doesn't
is still in
let
first
me
gear.
finish, please, for more than 3 seconds. For more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, go on.
I haven't spoken to an atheist today, you see, so I'm hungry.
So do you not think that from my perspective, if I don't believe in the arguments for God, whether or not
You don't have a perspective.
hang on, whether or not from your perspective they are strong or weak, from my perspective,
As a solipsist, you have no perspective.
of course you do.
There's nothing wrong for you. There's nothing right for
You
you.
have a perspective.
Why be an
If you
activist?
can
As a solipsist, as you said you are,
solipsist perceives
Solipsist.
they have a perspective.
no, you can't believe in anything beyond your own existence.
That's still, you still have perspective though.
No, but anything else you can't be sure about.
Well, I wouldn't
Don't
say,
do it, don't do
I
it.
wouldn't say he objectively does, but
I don't objectively exist.
No, I don't
Do you think animals exist?
Not objectively, no.
Okay, so what's the problem with killing them?
Why you're an animal activist?
So what's the problem
something that
with
doesn't
killing them then? What's the problem with eating something that might not exist?
I think
It's not going to help. Billy.
No, I think it's because
You're
Please,
digging yourself.
please,
because it's
Don't do
they
it.
may
Let's
exist.
leave it there.
They may exist.
Yeah.
So on the chance that animals do exist, don't eat them.
So the reason I'm a solipsist, the reason I wouldn't say that you objectively exist, is because when we dream, we often think, sometimes we know we're dreaming.
not in a
sometimes-
dream, come on.
But hang on. But when we dream, we are sometimes convinced that these things are real.
Yeah, in
right?
a dream. That's why it's called a dream.
No. But a solipsist says that, solipsist, I'm not necessarily...
I think you're not in
maybe I'm
touch with the
maybe I'm not.
reality.
Billy, I think just let it go.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe
I think just let it go,
Billy,
dude.
let's leave
Maybe
it
I-
here.
Billy, I'll tell you what I'll do. Are you here every week?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not. I come once a month. Yeah? I promise to have a nice sit-down conversation with you.
Yeah, interesting. No cameras. But yeah.
No, with cameras.
But
With cameras.
finally,
This has to be on camera.
But finally,
Over some food that exists.
I'll bring some chairs that might exist or not. I'm not sure.
But finally, if we can dream and we feel like these things are real in a dream, not in all dreams, but in some dreams we do think.
Yeah,
that
but
these things
now
are
you're
real.
confusing
Hang on,
dreams with
hang on,
reality.
hang on,
There's a
hang
difference
on,
between-
hang
you have
on,
lost
hang
touch
on,
with reality
hang
already.
Hang on.
Yeah, let's go for it.
If we think that these things are real, is that enough to say that they are?
Say it again, sorry.
The difference is you wake up.
But who's to say that we're not going to wake up now?
No, because
So when you dream, do you not?
So you think this could be a dream?
Could be. I wouldn't say that it is. I wouldn't say that it
That's what
is.
you're saying
But I would say
Billy,
let's
please.
leave it
I would
that.
say-
Let's
I would
leave it that.
say-
Let's part as
I would
friends.
say, okay.
You
Past
seem like a
friends.
nice guy.
We'll see you again.
You know, we don't want to overpower you.
Well, I do think it's consistent.
Take care,
to say
mate.
that
I don't think it's
considering we don't know.
So, in conclusion, you think it's wrong, by no standard, to eat animals that may not exist?
So, what I would say in response is the idea of right and wrong obviously don't exist. So I use a moral to provoke conversation.
Well, immorality doesn't exist to you either.
No, which is what it just.
So, yeah,
what I
exactly.
just said. So what I'm saying, I use it to provoke conversation.
No, but provoking. If that said it is wrong, I would still have the same conversation with you.
Yeah, I know.
People would get the
Right,
same
right,
meaning.
right, wrong,
but
moral,
the thing is,
immoral.
even right and wrong doesn't exist.
No, so but you're saying something is immoral or wrong when you have no standard to measure it against whether it's right or wrong. You've got no way. And the point is, these animals might not even exist.
So immorality.
Too much
doesn't
Avatar.
exist. Animals don't exist. The thing is, Billy,
we'll have the conversation.
What you're protesting against should at least exist.
Look, you know, with me, yeah, I know. You know, with me, I take a presupposition. I take your position. I look at your presuppositions, and then I'm going to drill you into them. So he had to see. He doesn't even know because he's a solipsist. So he doesn't even know if I exist. So if he doesn't know if I exist objectively, then he doesn't know if animals exist objectively. Therefore, these simulated animals that we're eating may not be real. So what's the problem? And he doesn't even have a standard of right and wrong.
You remove God from
He doesn't
the
even believe in
equation,
right or wrong.
That's what you end up with.
That's what, when we speak with vegans, you have to go on the route.
No, but you see what I did? See what I did to him straight away? Just straight away, if God exists,